Guys, and welcome back to the channel. So I'm sure by now we've all heard about the tragic incident that just happened in Texas. Here's where it gets deeper. So apparently there were prophecies, warnings about events like this long before they ever happened. One of them came from Celestro, known for her master's voice prophecies on TikTok, when she shared on her YouTube channel back in 2023, or even earlier if I'm not mistaken. You understand how major that is? This was way before Trump returned to office and before any of the budget cuts to NOAA that might have helped prevent this disaster. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So at this point, I'm starting to wonder, would Trump's presidency be part of a much bigger prophetic puzzle? I really want you guys to pay close attention to the second clip you're about to see. In it, Celestro specifically says that after the disaster, Texas will receive very little aid. And now look at what is really like it is happening. This is a 2023 prophecy, you guys. So if you don't believe in prophecies, if at all you've been doubting this lady, I think maybe it's time you start pay even at least a little bit of attention, your attention. So watch these clips. They're about 3 guys with prophecies. I want you to watch all of them. Drop your thoughts in the comment section down below, whether negative or positive. I'll come back at the end of this video to give my own 2 cents. Let's watch.
President Trump, I believe you could have prevented what happened in Texas. Those floods are on your hands because I told you a month ago God sent me to warn you that if you didn't get the descendants of stolen people out of your land, he would ravage your land himself. And sure enough, what are we seeing? Things we've never seen before. But what happened in Texas, God bless those people's soul, are a small portion. That's a small segment of what you're going to see in the coming weeks and months from heaven itself. Ravaging your nation. I presented the Rep 2025 offer to you. That's God's peace proposal to you. We've had thousands of people go to jointhecall.org, sign the petition, join the call, telling you they want to leave. President Trump, when you sign this deal with Liberia or Sierra Leone, if that's the Father's will, we will leave. We will be part of your America First agenda. We will help you get the captives out. We will tell our friends and family. We have people who want to leave, whether they believe this is Babylon, whether they believe they want to go build a nation, whether they believe that it is going back to their ancestral roots. For whatever reason, we are gathering all of them at jointhecall.org to come to you in October. If we don't hear from you, we will be outside the White House letting you know that your nation is being destroyed, that lives, blood is on your hands until you sign these deals and send the captives out. We are not doing this because we are against you. God has sent me because he is trying to warn you and save lives. But you must heed the call. One of those politicians in your office are having dreams. Tell them to come to you and figure out, tell me about these dreams you having, and let them tell you that what that brother is telling you is correct. And until it happens, you're going to see death, violence, famine, pestilence on every corner of your nation. Blood is on your hands. Make the call. Get in touch with us.
Will bow to the coming of the Lord. So this is what the Lord was showing me. Florida with its religion of freedom, guns, and Trump. And he said that he is going to judge them for it. American states will experience severe flooding. And another of these states that God showed me was Texas. Texas will experience landslides and mudslides caused by excessive rainfall. The rainfall that I saw is the kind of rainfall that fools you. It's a light rainfall that starts all of a sudden in the afternoon and you think it's a shower. But then it strengthens to excessive rainfall that goes on for weeks and weeks without rest. The Lord said, the ground will become weak. The ground will become unstable. The ground will fail to maintain integrity. And there will be landslides and mudslides in America as there have been in the rest of the world. Landslides that collapse houses, neighborhoods, and entire apartment buildings that will all fall into the hole created when the ground suddenly gives way because of material weakness caused by water. So what I saw in Texas is landslides and mudslides. And if I'm honest, the only landslides and mudslides that I've ever seen are landslides and mudslides in places like India and Indonesia and places like that. These devastating slumps that happen where an entire hillside will suddenly let go and all those tons of rocks and mud will come down and just slop over a village at the bottom. And It's so many tons. Half the hillside gives way. That kind of thing. That you know that because nobody can breathe in mud, nothing is going to help those people. By the time rescue services can come and do anything, it's already too late. I saw that Texas was having these kinds of things that pretty much never happen here in America. And it was all because of this deceptive rain that started. And then this rain, even in my heart, in my sleep, it was like this. And the rain went on and on and on and on and on without rest. And the ground got weak and unstable and it could not hold anymore. And across America, this will not only be in Texas, landslides and mudslides began to be recorded. And he said, as have been in the rest of the world. So it was not a small little thing and people thought, whoa, and recorded on their phone. No, it was the kind of, that's further in the prophecy, humanitarian disaster that we have been seeing in the rest of the world. The Lord said that houses, neighborhoods, and entire apartment buildings will sink into the ground when these things happen because of weakness caused by water. I also saw that Texas will have flood disasters. And God says, please listen, that the relief efforts given to Texas will be extremely weak. And I wrote that in capital letters because he wanted it to be understood. The government will do the very least to help Florida and the very least to help Texas. He said, the government will not carry out relief efforts or material aid to Florida or Texas in a sympathetic or a professional way. They want to destroy those states, just as they will destroy all states that are strongly opposed to the beast system. So I'm not going to go into what the beast system is in depth. If you are new, there are too many videos on that topic. Those who have been here for a while, even a little while, you have heard me describe the system of the beast. The beast system has its own money. They're going to take away paper money. They're going to take away the right to your private bank account. They're going to take away your right to private property and private ownership and private anything. In fact, you will have no privacy. Life in the beast system will be completely monitored all the time. Everything will be tracked. They are going to advance their technology through the fallen ones, helping them in the shadows for now, to such a point that they will want to track the thoughts of people's minds, to hack people's minds and bodies so that there is no part of us in privacy. And to those who think it's just to take away freedom, it's actually to take away any chance you have of having a personal relationship with God. You try to think of Jesus and that Siri will zap you through some microchip that they will put into people who consent to have this done to them. They don't care about your freedom because the Bible tells us in Revelation 13 that all the freedom of all the nations will be gone. They are trying to take away the last ability to call upon the name of Jesus Christ so that Satan's reign, at least for that time period, can be absolute.
Don't let these headlines fool you. This is more than about those 23 girls that are missing. I am going to expose the truth, so pay attention, stay to the end, it'll be worth it. This is what happens when a nation gets so comfortable, so prideful, and spiritually numb, they ignore the same river that already killed our kids before. This happened in 1987, the same Gulabay River, same Texas Hill Country, same kind of camp environment, except 10 girls died there in a flash flood. Instead of building a dam, instead of installing flood sirens, instead of issuing mandatory safety measures for those kids, what did? They settled out of court. You guessed it. The insurance paid off the families. Everybody wiped their hands, and they moved like it was just a freak accident. So fast forward 40 years later, we got Camp Mystic, this high-end exclusive girls camp for Christian teens, right? Rich, well-connected. Land is worth $8 million. Camp fees running between $4,000 and $6,000 per kid. So a $30,000 siren system, they could have raised that in one meeting, but because they didn't want that place to look dangerous, they didn't want their insurance premiums to go up. They definitely didn't want people questioning their legacy. And with that being the case, then you have to ask the question, then why would you drop or leave your 7-year-old daughter off in a flood zone? Why are you trusting strangers to raise them into a woman of God in 2 weeks anyway? I don't even believe that hype. But why are you not looking at the floodplain map before you sending your baby across state lines, especially if this has already happened before? It's tradition. You guessed it. They're caught up in image, Instagram pictures, and the fact that they went to Mystic when they were little kids. And in that regard, they're leaving their discernment at the gate. But the Bible tells us that the love of many will wax cold. You want to know what cold love looks like? It looks like ignoring a flood zone because you don't want to lose donors. It looks like calling it an act of God. Really, it was an act of man's pride. It looks like trusting wealth over wisdom. So you're telling me nobody could have seen this coming. That river rose 30 feet in the same place it did in 1987. Still no sirens, no evacuation plans, no warning system. But I bet they got new cabins. I bet they got manicured trails. I bet they got devotional and team chants and Bible verses all on the wall. Now, I'm not saying that every parent is careless. I'm saying some of y'all were too tired, too trusting, too desperate for a break, that you drop your daughter off and never ask if she was spiritually and physically protected. You assume Christian camp means safe. You assume legacy meant God was covering it. But God does not cover what we refuse to confront. And I'm tired of watching our daughters suffer because of lazy leaders and lukewarm parents. And I'm tired of watching churches, camps, and ministries call themselves faith-based while ignoring the very wisdom God gave them. This isn't persecution. This is negligence dressed up in prayer circles. That camp had 40 years of warning. They had the money, they had the connections, they had the storm forecast, but they did nothing. And now everybody want to cry tragedy, act of God. No, this was preventable and this was known. To the parents of the kids, listen to me. You got to ask questions before you sign that check. Because if your baby goes missing, it won't be the glossy brochure or the cross on the camp wall that saves them. We're praying for those missing girls. We stand with the families, but we also cut the head of this lazy spirit behind Christian culture that's been there for too long. Enough with the silence, enough with the comfort. The river already warned us once, and this time we cannot act surprised.
I see it in 4 states: Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas, and Florida. Reoccurring weather problems this year. And God says the one for Texas is because Texas have abandoned God.
As far as the number of people that may be lost, maybe the number of fatalities, as you mentioned, they have confirmed some fatalities. We just don't have a clear picture yet. When you look at those images, this has just been an unprecedented historical flooding event there. Watching our coverage through some of our affiliates there, I mean, this is an area, keep in mind that today on the 4th, there were campgrounds there were homes, there were people.
God says I should tell the people of Texas, you have become lukewarm. The church in Texas have become lukewarm. The people in Texas have become lukewarm. And because of that, God says Texas will begin to receive the judgment by weather. There will be a lot of weather issues in Texas this year, before the end of the year. So Texas, prepare yourselves. You will witness a lot of strong winds, a lot of hurricanes, a lot of tornadoes in Texas this year. Just watch them, a lot of it. I see someone saying we're on fire for Jesus in Texas. In your eyes, in the eyes of God, Texas is lukewarm. Texas is cold. I'm not here to argue with anybody. God is saying Texas need to repent. I also see earthquake.
Listen to me very carefully, as we got some breaking news just coming in that there is another wall of water forming over there in the Guadalupe, that if you're not familiar with the area, you can find yourself in trouble. So we are telling everybody to evacuate immediately, and I'm reaching out to every single influencer on this platform to use your platform to get the warning out that another wall of water is forming, and any children on the lake, on the edges, you must evacuate immediately. As also, we have a confirmation from the Weather Channel that there is storms that are forming, massive rainfalls that are coming your way. So you must evacuate immediately. Again, if this is an inconvenience and nothing happens, oh well, we don't care. We'd rather you be inconvenienced than lose your life. So again, just an hour ago, it just came through that there are warnings coming in that there's walls of water forming that will continue to the flood situations. So if anybody is out there and you get this message, you need to pack your shit up, or don't even worry about your stuff. Get out there and evacuate immediately, is that it is coming. That's what they said. Unconfirmed, but there's a possibility that a wall of water is coming your way, and you must get out there immediately. And it's also confirmed from the weather reports that massive rainfalls are also coming that will add to further flooding in the area.
And that brings us to the end of the video. But before I go, I want to leave you with something, to really think about. So we've just witnessed, prophecies talking about what happened in Texas before it even happened. A tragedy that not only did, a tragedy that not only shook the nation, but also fulfilled prophetic warnings that were shared long before it ever took place. So Celestro, through her Master's Voice platform, gave warnings back in 2023 or even earlier. And now here we are living the very moments she described, whether you want to admit it or not. That's not a coincidence. That's prophecy unfolding right before our eyes. Now, I know most of you are skeptical. I get it. Not everyone believes in modern day prophets or prophecy in general, especially when it comes through people you might not personally follow or agree with. But here's the truth. Prophecy is real, guys. Prophecy is real, and it's biblical. The Bible is full of examples where God used people, imperfect people, to deliver warnings, instructions, and insight for the times to come. Think about Noah. He warned about the floods for years, and people laughed at him. They called him crazy. But when the rain came, it didn't matter who believed him or who didn't. The flood still came, and only those who listened were saved. Or maybe it's time we stop brushing these things off. Maybe it's time to, we stop letting our personal feelings about certain messengers blind us from the messages, because ignoring prophets doesn't make it, go away. In fact, ignoring it only makes us more vulnerable when it comes to pass. Take this flood, Texas flood as an example. So according to reports, the rain on the 4th of July wasn't a one-time event. It's being said that this is just the beginning, and the more is expected. More rains are expected to come. I don't know if it's within this month, next month, or it's within this year. Now, I'm not trying to scare anyone, and this isn't about fear mongering. That's never been the purpose of this channel. But facts are facts, and warnings were given, and sadly, they were ignored, and a lot of people have lost their lives. Now we are seeing the consequences in real time. It's really sad. So you may be one of those people who don't believe in prophecies. How did Celestial travel in time of 2025 to know about Texas receiving less aid, or because of the budget cuts from nowhere, they were not able to see this coming. How did Celestial know about that? And that's exactly what we are seeing play out in real time. What she said in 2023 or 2024 or even earlier, because she repeats her prophecies. So I don't know. I watched this one for 2023. I don't know if there is another, but because she keeps she does this, she will bring back her older prophecy maybe to another year or something like that. She does that. So I don't know when this was prophesied. Okay, so the response is slow. The support is lacking as we are speaking in Texas. It's not as it is supposed to be. And many people are feeling forgotten. But this isn't about failed leadership or policy. It's about a spiritual disconnect, okay? We've stopped listening. We've stopped discerning. We've stopped heeding the signs and the voices God be using to guide us through these last days. Through these prophecies, we call them names. We call them names. Especially this Celestial lady. Oh my God, people... They fry her, they roast her because of her prophecies. Oh, these are the last days, guys. The Bible warned us that in the last days there will be signs in the heavens, disasters on earth, wars, division, deception, and yes, an increase in prophetic messages. Not everyone who claims to be a prophet is genuine, of course. And we should at least test the spirit, because even the Bible encourages us to do that. But rejecting all prophecy outright is dangerous. It's like turning off your smoke detector just because it annoys you. When the fire comes, it won't save you. I truly believe that now more than ever, we need to start listening, even if you don't agree with everything the prophetic channels are saying. Even if their style rubs you, the wrong way, at least take a moment to hear them out. Pick out something, one or two things. Test the spirit. Learn what you can, because God doesn't always speak the way we expect him. Sometimes he uses voices we least expect to reach the people who need to hear the message the most. So I want to encourage you all. Don't ignore the signs. Don't dismiss the warnings. Don't let pride or double block your discernment. The Bible tells us in Amos 3:7, surely the sovereign Lord does nothing without revealing his plan to his servants, the prophets. The verse alone should make us pause, think, conclude. What is happening in Texas right now is not just a weather event, it's a wake-up call. And more, maybe, might be coming. Sad. This is a moment for reflection, repentance, and preparations, not just physically, but spiritually. These are not normal times. Being alert and being able to discern is a must for anybody. Yeah, I think that's what I had to say. All right, guys. I think that's all I had for you guys in this video, and I hope it gave you something to think about. You don't have to agree with everything, but if something stood out for you, please hold on to that. Pray about it, meditate on it. We're just trying to navigate through these times as best as we can. But one thing I know for sure, God still speaks and is still warning his people. Please let me know what you think about this video in the comment section down below. Do you see the patterns? Do you believe these prophecies are coming to pass? I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Thank you so much, and I'll definitely see you in my next video. Please stay peaceful.